Oh, hello everyone and welcome back to another video of some more F1 2020 game news. There isn't a lot in today's video. There's purely, which is why this video is very short. There was, the only thing of real note was that there was a rumour sort of coming out that F1 could be looking to get another simulation game, perhaps make their own. Obviously they license it to Codemasters, but that license is still in place until 2024, so I don't think that's going to be it. But that's literally it in terms of game news for this week. Other than, of course, this hot lap is literally the only thing that's available. I've looked through everything else, and there doesn't seem to be any more stuff that we don't already know. So if you've missed the previous episodes, then I recommend you go and check them out. I don't think there's a link to the playlist in the description, but if you click the channel my channel name Phoenix84, it takes you to the home page, and there on the home page there is definitely the whole playlist is there, as well as some of my other content there as well. But yes, let's get into this video. I'm gonna play. What I'm gonna do, unlike the other hot laps, is I'm gonna play the whole video for you, and then we'll move, and then I'll cut in at the end and basically scroll through, point out a few things that I may have noticed in terms of the gameplay, etc, etc. Okay, so that was the sort of gameplay hot lap, of course using the replay cameras. So I'm going to now go through and point out a few things. Now, first of all, I'm going to pretty much pause it straight away. There seems to be a little bit more difference, potentially in lighting. I'm not sure, but I don't know. I don't think that this looks like it's the same from last year. I don't know how accurate this sort of skyline is. Obviously you've got the yachts in the harbour, but they're pretty much generic. It'd be nice if they could actually go and preview that. Obviously this club is still there in real life, and obviously the hill, but yes, don't think though you can see the acorn, silver acorn thing. If we could roll through this thing, you've got pretty much the same thing. They don't seem to have included the acorn in this year's game, which doesn't exist in real life anyway. As of course we move through the same graphic, etc, etc. So going through, as you know, so they've got, I'll just bring that back a minute. They've got this sponsoring now, Monaco Grand Prix, which I think they've had in recent years, but this has of course been updated to the number, which of course will actually be next year, will be the 78th Monaco Grand Prix. If I just bring it back from term, this, come on, something like this, hang on, I'll just bring it. So this term doesn't look like it's changed at all. Yeah, see the number 78, because I remember that in F1 2019 they did a big thing where they did a comparison of the excuse me. There's a comparison of what they're doing. So they did a big scan in F1 2019 of all the so this really hasn't changed a lot. I think they've widened the tracks slightly at certain places. It's a bit hard. I just want to point out something. You may have seen in previous episodes that we've done this gameplay sort of thing, that we've got overtake. Overtake is only available in a F1 race weekend, i.e. in a practice session. So the previous episodes have gone, and I think it was only Zandvoort actually that, was it Zandvoort? Yes, it was only Zandvoort that had the number 3 here, because that is the ERS that you use in time trial. The other stuff, using the O for overtake, it's not a 0 as I mistakenly said in the Spain video, but this is O for overtake, and you can see here we've done 16 laps. I presume this is in practice. Somehow in P1 still, I don't know. But yes, as we go up to Casino, which doesn't look like it's changed a lot. This again, I wouldn't say has changed a lot. You've got the oh yeah, something to point out. You will have noticed, may or may not noticed in other videos, the Heineken sponsorship is now in the game You Never Drink and Drive, which I don't think was properly in the game. Ultimately, they still got the F120, which of course, if on the PC game, you can of course, somebody's going to eventually mod that out. But yes, as they take, that is far too much curbing. Just want to bring it back up. Think how much time. I'm not saying this, but this curve in F1 2019 was quite high. Now, obviously, I haven't got we've only got this for you to look at, but I remember if you got on this curve, you would lose quite a lot of time. But it looks like, judging by the thing, this is one of the racing lines. So that's something definitely to keep out of. They reprofiled this curve. It looks like later on in the lap they have, so but I personally don't see many drivers. I click the curve there. This section hasn't changed at all. It's still got the fake yacht in there as we go into the tunnel. Now in F1 2019, when you came out of the tunnel, you had the blast of sunlight, and it's no change for 2020. But if you remember from F1 2019, flash of sunlight is only when you're going forwards. If you're going backwards, you get the reverse flash of sunlight going into the tunnel. But yes, this sort of section hasn't really been redone, I don't think. It might be slightly wider. That's still the same. But then we come to this, and this curve has been flattened out definitely, and also made slightly wider as well. As we move up to Raskas, another lock up there. Again, this, and I feel like this bit of section here between Rascas 99 has been made a lot wider. We still got the same old sound. We've got, I'm not sure, I can't remember this thing, because I don't really pay attention when you're driving, but there we go. And up to the line, and that is pretty much a lap of Monaco with somebody driving as Pierre Gasly. So yes, now we're going through the car models, because they have finally been released. They're no longer using the F1 car. So yes, starting off with the Mercedes. Again, I haven't seen the comparisons yet. I'm just going on my memory. And again, the car models I'm not an expert on, but you can see the Mercedes there with its Ineos thing, the red engine thingy majiggy, and then we've got obviously a picture of the McLaren on the grid. Should look like it's way too far up the grid of where it should have been compared to a few years ago. No, McLaren, that's probably actually, it's ahead of the Racing Points, and they were faster than McLaren in testing, so I'll have to wait and see there. But we've got the Ferrari. I think on certain images the number isn't displaying correctly as well. I'm not sure what's going on with that, whether it's going to be an issue. But I think they fixed the vent. As I said, these aren't final work, thank Lord, because Codemasters has still got quite a lot of work to be doing with the stuff to get there. And obviously they're still missing with the Ferrari what's replacing the Mission Winnow, because you can't have that. Is far too empty Codemasters there on the rear wing. There isn't any Mission Winnow sponsorship at all, which they wouldn't have it anyway, but they replaced with the Ferrari 90 years, and it'd just be nice to have something there with the logo. The Renault they've done okay with. They've got the generic sort of thin nose of the Renault that is sort of seen. They've tried to capture the DP world. Again, this car has had very limited traction anyway, because of course it's pretty much been launched. The car has been seen testing, but the actual livery has only been seen in some photos, and that's it. So yes, we've got the AlphaTauri as well, which you'd have seen earlier. This one driven by Kvyat, and of course will be driven by myself. We've got the Williams, which they've done okay with. As I say, they're not there. There's probably some minor details. I think they've stuck the front wings are very generic looking. I think that's where they've got to try and improve. The Alfa Romeo from the side view, which really doesn't do much for us, of course. And then, but the biggest one I've got to say has to be the Racing Point. It's because it had, as you remember rightly, the Mercedes. Well, they just need to press copy and paste from last year's Mercedes, and they haven't been able to do that. I remember seeing this as a picture. It's just stuck with my mind for some reason. The Racing Point sort of target logo was actually in the corner where the Mercedes was, and that's in sort of where the end of the nose, it fitted nicely there. That's not happened here, so they've done some other modelling there, so obviously that needs to be changed. Again, the front wings are generic. The Haas, it's just a Haas. And then we've got the Red Bull as well, which again, the front wings are very generic still. I think they've only started working on the back, but hopefully they can get the front wings done. Well, they should get the front wings done before the Renault one, because looking back at all of these, it's literally, they're all the same except for the Renault. So yes, that's going to be it for today's video. If you enjoyed, do leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you see more episodes of F1 2020 game news as when it comes out. Until the next video, it's time. Take care. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy your day and goodbye.